usually do not see that kind of misplay from this man, particularly on one of his signature heroes.
Had overall last pick,
but maybe just not expecting he was going to get there in the first place.
Going into game 3, it was BScope
still dead even. Not much action happening in the last 5 minutes when it comes to kills. There's been these movements, but not really finding purchase. Gaming Gladiators and Tundra seem to be circling around each other, but it seems like this even game is favoring Tundra by a healthy amount at that.
Yeah, they're just going to farm more of the map during these downtimes. Like, Game and need to group up and get an advantage. They're continuing to bleed some supports. Tundra just push the lanes and making better moves right now. They have an arcane rune on top, and that Bloodstone is done, and they're just working towards BKBs. They already have Pures. He hasn't had to use it yet, and they're going to get a Mars BKB. They're going to get a Sand King BKB second item. They're going to have a nice triple BKB timing by the time I think Gaiman's ready to group up with their Greaves Pipe potential. It's going to be a tough fight for them if they want to force the Roche. And I wonder, is Tundra, do you just try and do it before Gaiman are ready to take that 5-on-5?
Knowing that Gaming Gladiators, they've done this for years at this point in time, this aura build-up. What is Tundra doing exactly that is combating that timing?
They're not letting them group. They're continually pushing in all the waves. Especially Whitemon. He has lived on Gaiman's side of the map. He's cut mid-wave a lot. He's sending creeps to some of these random waves. He's farming out their jungle. It's been really annoying for how Gaiman wants to play the map. This is also one of the downsides of Viper. Like, Viper is strong in that ball, but he's not great when the map gets split up like this.
Yeah, and he's not particularly good at pushing in the waves really quickly, like some of these heroes on the side of Tundra.
He's just clunky. He's a clunky hero, and Tundra are abusing it right now.
Back and forth, you can see that heat back of just Whitemon constantly playing basically on the river, on their side of the map.
Drafts unfolding
all over the place, keeping Gaming Gladiators, as you said, a bit split. They've got a 4-man crew right now.
We did see banned out
with Dyrachyo farming a different part of the map. They're going to, on the other side, Tundra's going to deal with their Tormentor, pick up the 21-minute Wisdom Rune. Very efficient stuff.
What's going to happen with that one?
This is super efficient for Pure. Mask of Madness Armlet build. Quite a throwback. It has been incredibly good on this hero. He also got the Gropo. That's a nice neutral item pickups in this game. Vampire Fangs for Dyrachyo, I think, is also a good one here.
And that was the situation.
Just free heal in the fight. Off the whirlwind. His BKB is done, so he's also kind of ready to fight here.
Yeah, I think he's kind of impossible to kill with this combination of items at this timing right now.
Gaiman are grouping bottom. They want the Roshan around this time, but they are missing the Greaves from Celery. He's a bit short, and you're missing this pipe from Ace. Kind of an awkward time to take that fight in terms of the items, but if you can get a good BKB Wind Ranger in there with a Whirlwind, of course, that fight is potentially winnable.
But
potentially,
I can tell you in the series,
the Whirlwind is going to have to contend with the arena walls. So Ramsey's initiation.
There was a Doom in every single game, and every Doom
Ideally,
lost.
Tundra ignore this Viper, find the supports.
There was
that is a great ward.
The Chen. Yeah, they see the Chen. They see where he's headed to. They probably know where the other support is as well. They're going to wrap around, avoiding this high ground, making sure this ball doesn't pop until they get the arena on both the supports.
Obviously do exist that we aren't seeing very often. We've seen some Ursa do extremely well against that. I wouldn't mind seeing Beast Coast actually picking up carries such as that one because it's very active. It's very active after you have a very good lane. It's not necessarily always very active.
But that's where I think, again, Batrider is a key hero. Getting banned out from Beast Coast. Snapfire is another lane-winning hero. We've seen Willow do relatively well. I think the 4s that are currently in PJ Valahia meta are very good at bringing Doom to life. I think during TI, there were some lanes where Doom wasn't able to pressure.
You see this man? Hoodwink is in the pool.
Sure.
I mean, why the hell not? It completely enables Doom. It's a solid hero into Enchanters as well because you have multiple AoE.
Next to their outpost with buybacks ready to go. But maybe they're going to go for a second part of this fight. Nope. They call it quits. They say that's good enough.
They can go whatever.
There were some crazy Centaur stomps in that fight. These Centaurs were just running around, stopping multiple heroes from both the Chen and the Enchantress. Dyrachyo ultimately gets to play his game here, though, and that's what wins out. That snowball from Soxa, he took everybody into it, and it looked great for the Sand King, but I think it wasted a bit of Pure's time in this fight. We'll see that clutch stun from Ace buys time for the supports to get a lot off here. Celery will be forced to buy back into this fight.
So the Falcons are
and at some point, I think somebody fed Quinn, or he had a big Lotus for the second half of this exchange, because he gained a huge amount of HP as they were trying to burst him down towards the end of it.
I wouldn't mind seeing something.
We'll see here, you go and try and finish off this Viper.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Chunks up. Big wand plus something else here. Maybe just the effective Shen.
Just keeps distance from the Doom like a Centaur.
By the way, I mean, there's just so many Centaur stops going off in this fight. It's ridiculous. There's another one at the end. These things have done work.
They certainly have, and it keeps the game close. Still, 6,000 net worth lead for Tundra. Gaming Gladiators looking to correct that. Three-man smoke up through mid with two other heroes close by.
Oh, look at his BKB.
Got that out of him.
It's not only
that invaluable here. You're still smoked on Ace, and you finished up that pipe for the Centaur. This is a huge timing for Gaiman. This is why they spoke. This is why they want the pick off. Anything would lead into the Roshan here.
Is it BKB being on cooldown enough for them to have the confidence to take that Roshan?
I think it is, but it's going to switch the side here, and I don't know if you're finishing it by the time you get here on the Radiant.
That's true. You've got 45 seconds. If you're going to do it, you have to do it right away.
You get in there with everybody with this level 3 penitence. It's doable right now.
Yeah. I think they're going to be able to do it. 35 seconds. Put it to the test here, but it's looking pretty good for them. Every single hero of Gaming Gladiators joining in on this. It doesn't seem like Tundra are too worried about it. They are super split all around the map, farming all different areas. They're going to get all the lanes pushed in. They're going to farm a bunch of neutrals, so they will get a lot of net worth for this exchange. It's up to Gaming Gladiators to use this Aegis to correct the net worth lead that is currently going to Tundra.
Saw the stat.
I'll say damage must have been nice in this meta, but I mean, who needs Solar Flare when you have your own personal summon Solar Flare?
That's true.
With 80 skeletons in the fight.
The Skelly boys giving Gaming Gladiators just that extra bit of oomph, and they're going to need it.
Until Thompson clears them all and gets an extra 100 gold.
That's true.
A couple of times, so not in the tournament.
See what Gaming can do during this Aegis period. They have their Greaves, they have their Pipe, they have an Aegis on the Viper, who's their front line, who's showing top right now.
Oh, they're going to get a midway through. Ace already got through the gate. He's not coming back in time to save Tofu, at least. As Tofu's still inside the arena. Wait a minute, disruption with Sox is stuck on the other side of the shards. Tofu's actually making a break for it with the Stampede. He TP's out.
I guess they already have the
All right.
Where would they want to go with this pick?
I think Sox is going to hold that punch for next time, right?
They can either pick their full safe
it's like a win run BKB. Wind Ranger's the problem. It's a hard go, but they're still happy with what they got there. They got the BKB on the Wind Ranger. That's something to allow you to push here. You just can't convert on those kills. Meanwhile, Thompson trying to make a solo play.
Yeah, very interesting, knowing that since the BKB's on cooldown, maybe he could get a solo kill. But either way, it's Tundra being aggressive into an Aegis, which is quite the call. Thompson, he's going to go for BKB Bloodstone. See if he can stay alive against all five, but there is way too much. Thompson, you have overestimated yourself, and now maybe you pulled Pure into a position he doesn't quite want to be. The rest of his team is cutting in from behind. Ramsey's made the call, though, to cut the wave. See if that will stop this tier 2 from going down. And it just might. No, they kept the catapult alive, so the push will endure.
They griefed it. Keep it alive here. Still have this Aegis on the Viper. That means you want to go. You want to force the action. They're going to go high ground. They have a huge amount of rally boost from these summoners right now. Really helps the damage output.
Oh no, the Solar Crash. Wait, the Alpha Wolf, they got the Siege Wagon. The wave has been cut. A glyph is going to be reactivated here. That stops Gaming Gladiators' push. They can no longer barrel down mid. Even with this kind of net worth lead, Tundra still have to pull out all the stops to stop the Gaming Gladiators snowball that is time and time again kick teams out of tournaments.
Gaming have found a lot of net worth during this period, particularly for Quinn. Like this Viper is starting to scale. He got Chain and Quiver as well. He's going to be a beast in the fight. We saw how much Thompson was doing on his own. He's not really doing a lot of damage into this lineup with the Pipe plus the extra magic resist right now. And that's why Gaming, they want to strike. They want to strike hard when they know their ball is stronger.
Just get some more control.
Boys are back in town. The Skelly boys just keep on growing, and they are going to hit a different part of the town here in the top lane instead. This time, the wave is not getting cut. So there's another one coming in. Tundra are going to have to go for a high ground defense. 2 minutes left on the Aegis.
Even as a small Hellbearer, which actually actually kind of like, because you just send this thing in the fight and it dies to a bunch of the AoE damage.
Yeah.
You get a huge damage boost off the death throw. It's not a common ability, but I can see it being really good here for the Viper.
120 attack speed for 5 seconds. That is no joke at all. Give a moon shard to everybody.
Dude, Tundra want to jump Quinn. Still have a minute 30 on this Aegis. You can like lock him in a shards and man fight him with the DK, but it doesn't sound fun.
No.
They're just trying to stall this out. Put Thompson on the front line. Gavin will jump him.
Thompson. No, almost snowball save. That can let him get off the BKB Bloodstone, but they are going to be deep into Gaming Gladiator side. Managed to get the blink away before the Stampede can connect there. They'll get him back to safety. Gaming Gladiators not being able to get that pick off. Now 60 seconds left on the Aegis.
Getting stalled out here.
Yeah, time is ticking. Gaming Gladiators' window is beginning to close.
Counter to the puck not working out.
Maybe they're happy with what they got during this period, but they did not break that base. That's a big win for Tundra.
We'll see.
And now they're pushing towards some bigger items. That Hex for Ramses is on the horizon.
Unless they have a different mid in mind that has
Caught a little bit. They found the Shadow Demon on the
Yes, they managed to get him, and they got him inside the arena. The spear, though, he runs at the Centaur, so a self-disruption. But Tofu, wait, Quinn, he's taking a lot of damage. He's going to lose that Aegis. He had Aegis still in the second line. While Durancio tries going to work with the Whirlwind. Managed to get a Burrow strike back. Top's going to be okay for now, but Pure, he's leading in. He's going to go for Celery, takes him out. BKB Tiki up for Quinn, but what about Durancio? Durancio doesn't have that same luxury. He doesn't have a BKB. Tries to hide. Nowhere to hide.
Just stands his ground in the middle of everything. Gavin did not have the damage. Durancio, he wanted to pick his mark in that fight, comes in with the BKB winner on Whirlwind, but it is not enough damage to finish anybody off. And the front line from Tundra holds Thompson. He finds Shadow Demon right at the start, sets up this 3-man arena, and everybody's just locked in the cage. Ace gets melted even through the auras of the sustain. Just a brutal amount of damage. This Whirlwind, it can win you the fight here, but it gets disjointed, and now all of a sudden all you have left is this BKB Dragon Knight on the front line, and it's not a hero Durancio can man fight at that point. This is through the fight for Aegis as well. That, in theory, was a good fight for Damon in terms of that timing. Did not do him any favors here.
Thompson made the call. He made the blink initiation, catching Gaming Gladiators a bit off kilter. And as a result, the team fight is messy, it's bloody, and it's bad for Gaiman. Now a 12,000 net worth lead for Tundra.
I will say, Quinn, he barely got out of there as well. That punch from Soxo was mid-land. That was almost a full team wipe. They'll lick their wounds and claim a Tormentor here. But this game is starting to get messy for Gaiman. This is not how these types of lineups are supposed to function, right? You want a Rax or 2 by now. You want to be looking at the next Roshan with a net worth lead. Instead, you find yourself down a 10K hole versus a very strong Dragon Knight who's about to finish MKB at your shop.
Saxa wasting no time to make the initiation because Ramses is up behind him and he's got a completed Sight device and a spear to follow it up. Disable after disable. Gaiman Gladiators now have to use the Stampede to try and retreat, make sure nobody else dies, but Tofu, he'll bite the dust as well.
Tundra finding momentum in this game, finding everything right now. Every jump feels good, especially with this MKB done on Pure. You find Durancio, he's going to melt. Swing Run cannot save you anymore. And all of a sudden, Gaiman are the ones being pushed back. Did they miss their timing in this game? They have all the auras, but they're not winning you the team fight right now. Hex done for Ramses as well. I mean, the catch is there, the control is there, the BKBs are there. Even Whitemon has built up an entire pipe to back these tanky frontliners up. This is a lot of HP to get through all of a sudden. You have 4 strength heroes on the front line, all with 3,000 plus HP, with a pipe behind them effectively.
Okay.
So much HP to get through.
Yeah, normally something that we would say about Gaming Gladiators lineup. Oh, look at all these auras, look at the pipe, look at the greaves. It's too much for any team to be able to bite through, but
I feel like the
Tundra hitting this later timing, 32 minutes, triple BKBs, triple strength heroes. Now it's Gaming Gladiators, the ones who are running out of damage and struggling to deal with Tundra. As a result, they lose a lane of barracks. A second one gets damaged a bit, but Tundra not trying to take a team fight on Gaming Gladiators. High ground will retreat and await the Roshan timing, which is coming up very soon.
They are not pressured right now. Feels like they are scaling way better The next set of items coming up for Gaming are, they feel all defensive
Thank you
too.
so much,
Lincoln's for the Viper, Satanic for the Wind Ranger,
the coach of
Crimson for
Team
Ace.
Falcons.
Not a lot of damage
through the
increase.
trials, tribulations,
You just finished the Shivas on the Sand King, the pipe for the Edge.
You know, pass on.
This DK's going to get something built out of this Reaver.
Thank you for this.
I worry about how you bring these heroes down right now. And it feels like a lot of the initiations have just been Ramsey's finding his mark.
Okay.
4-1 and 9 on this Mars. He's played a near-perfect game.
Of this game and see
He's
who
had a
comes out on
fantastic
top.
tournament of this hero. The switch up the Tundra did, right? Presenting the Sand King, as you said in the draft, and then swerving, so it's a mid-Sand King. They get a different off laner. It has worked out beautifully. They managed to salvage out that mid lane thanks to White Mom's moves early, and now Ramses is delivering on the off lane
We're ready
Mars.
for it. Somebody maybe needs a hug later.
These arenas, if you catch the supports +1, you're very happy with that, and you're probably winning the fight.
Actually seemed like he may have thought about that
a lot of these times. Do finish up the Daedalus,
and therefore he knew what his answer was and said Flex wasn't going to like. I told you he had him figured out.
This Whirlwind really has to do some work. You got to find at least 1 or 2 big targets during this interval.
Yeah, if you want to interview AY, you got to be.
Tundra really want to play this game.
You got to bring something special. Can't catch him off guard.
So they're going to buy out here. Satanic for pure.
All right, let's have a look at this game.
So
I like that the panel called
Who
the last
needs
pick Timber
a second life when Satanic really is its own second life, right? I mean, it's not like he's going to get bursted down before he could activate it. He's got way too much effective HP.
And the snowball save behind him. Yeah, it really comes down to it. So Tundra very confident right now. They have a wave in Gamon's base. They don't see anybody on, so they know Gaming are around this
really high win rate this tournament. I'm genuinely surprised that Falcons rated this low.
They're not going to show on it.
That they last pick at this one game.
Tundra are trying to set the tempo. They're the ones trying to start the fight with this smoke. They found a couple of heroes, not who they want. They don't want the Centaur, they don't want the Viper, they want the backline, but this time Ramses finds himself jumped on
Timber just has the better end of the matchup after the laning stage.
And kills Ramses. He's going to find back and try to come back in. Thompson!
Oh,
Thompson! A burst right from hell! Goes underground! And he's just ripped Gaming Gladiators all the way down to the pit himself. A spear to finish him off. And that is a team wipe.
And it only cost you a Mars buyback off of what was probably the best
and again,
Ace
let's see if Beast Coast can keep playing awesome lanes, because I genuinely think in this one, I think
absolutely none of it made a
one
damn
of the things
difference.
that I think stands out to me about the way that
just
these
leave them to me, boys, and I will clean it up.
Beast
Pure
Coast
with the
has
cleaves
not
coming
allowed
through.
these
He is
traditional
invincible.
one-to-one counter picks.
The clock in this game has run out for Gaming.
To making sure
this push did not come to fruition. And Ramses,
for instance,
he's in cleanup mode.
drag a couple
Ramses perhaps trying a little bit too hard there. Goes for something.
And
they don't want to jump on. It's the Viper. They got plenty of buybacks out of Gaming Gladiators. That's good enough. And now they can back up to the original objective of Roshan.
Sure that also you're supporting this.
You're getting
Luna
slotted
and
at this
keeping
point.
her alive against what could be a little bit of a scary one.
Invincible. Give it to Ramses. Reward him for the buyback.
Whisper going toe-to-toe against Scare. They will throw out a Frostbite.
Falling short in this game one, especially in these team fights. They just don't have enough sustain to match with Tundra.
Here comes that epicenter. Thompson, he pumped it a couple times. Perfect timing.
The cleave coming through as well from the DK with a Nemesis curse.
Can really rotate that much this game, like you pointed out, because I feel like Luna needs the protection a lot against this lane.
Pure is able to deliver the damage off of any kind of stun. Either Ramses or Thompson. Pure says, no, there's no chance. You got nothing, Gaming Gladiators, and it really does look that way. With a 23,000 net worth lead and a lineup that was designed to take the base early,
that is a bit of an
it does feel like Gaming Gladiators may not have much more in the tank, much more left for them to be able to play for, but they are a world-class team, and they have been in these situations before. So Tundra do need to be careful when they encroach upon Gaming Gladiators territory.
They did give this Aegis
very annoying on this Enchantress.
At least there's some idea this Dragon Knight is in theory immortal. He wants the second life to siege the base.
But so far, Pike has a pretty good time of it. Right now,
is it possible for you to leave the Dragon Knight for last, or does he just do too much damage? That may not be a question that they are ever able to get to themselves with Dyrachyo. Gone in a second.
Does have buy.
Sample size as well.
The one hero that had buyback for Gaming
right now, setting up with his high ground board. They're going to say this is the only opportunity we have. We've got an amp damage onto the Viper. Maybe, just maybe, we can pull out a miracle. But Pure's behind them. Thompson hits the Burrow Strike. A disruption save. That's going to help. They have the buyback and TPM coming in. Quinn activates BKB. Throws the damage back out, and then Thompson
Thompson, wait, the snowball save again. Coming in for the supports of Tundra. They're bailing out these heroes. Interaccio not going to make it out. The Death Reaper comes in with a sharp sight and a wicked intent. Thompson, he'll join them along in death, but he's done what he needed to do. He has killed Gaming Gladiators, killed their chance at this game one, taken out their buybacks, taken out their diebacks, and they are out of this game one. No contest.
The crowd favorite puts on a show in this first game from a very rough lane, getting bailed out from that Whitemon Enchantress to just dominating these team
relatively
fights.
static for a bit.
This is not a hero you wanted to give this team, and not a hero you wanted to give that man right there. As Tundra put on a clinic in this game one, how to stall a game, how to hold a game, how to keep the lanes out, and ultimately just thwart every timing that Gaming were going for there. They get this free pipe, they have a chat lineup, but none of it syncs up. The Roshan doesn't really do them any good, and they never even took a tier 3 in this game. No, very uncomfortable situation for Gaming, as it felt like this has been our MO.
Be able to take down Gaming Gladiators in a full best of 3,
so there
and
will
that is always a
inflation.
difficult task to take. So, pose that task.
Feels like
talk to the panel. What are they going to do
ahead on gold most of the time to
Look, we've got a lot of theories circulating. We do love to talk about Dota, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Tundra getting this game one win for themselves. In their interview yesterday, they said their game plan coming in. Let's slow it down. Let's try and stall this game out a little bit longer. Well,
it feels like in this series we have not seen as many stacks as some of these other Falcon games, and I feel like some of it is just because they don't want to get ran over in the laning stage.
To mid and getting a lot
to have all their heroes here to deal with this.
Yeah, and going back to the draft there, you have to start thinking.
I don't think this is any exception.
I mean, like you
actually, maybe this time around, Crit will be able to go in stack because Amar has the ice armor creep.
This clip is actually one of the best in the game here. You see how Viper is dominating, but Whitemon, he micros his creep, drags the creep wave around, allows him to get that pivotal kill onto Quinn's Viper there, really slowing down the momentum. Sure, Whitemon died right after because he was microing his creep, but that just kind of happened. It did allow Top is tanky. And we saw how many like 3 to 4 man burst strikes he kept hitting throughout this entire game. Can you give the Sand King away? I don't know. What are you going to leave in the pool? Are you going to leave the Naga? Are you going to leave the Invoker? Tundra's in a spot right now where their hero pool seems very difficult to solve. We said it before. Even Gaming doesn't have the solution here. Even this Enchantress is creeping up to becoming a big problem when you're playing against Tundra.
I mean, I feel like
correct here from Malrine as well.
Was the MVP of that game. Genuinely, I know everybody's talking about Whitemon. He played extremely well. I mean, I think Tundra just all around played amazing.
Sending that
Saksa, speaking of delaying the game, the wave cut where he snowballs in and catapult and then cuts the next wave, like that was game timing.
Malrine is here too.
Spot crit, Lumpy there. Malrine wants the kill. Can they get it?
toss now underneath the tower. That's dangerous. Pike now low. Turns to battle, though, and they take down Malrine.
Very efficient.
What a move. A bold strategy from Lumpy, but it pays off. As they get the toss back, will drop the Doom now. And with Skinner moving in, they're going to be able to get a little bit of retribution. Pike trying to back away on Nicho, trying to protect Scary. Can't come in with the body block. They kill off Lumpy. They're going to kill off Pike.
On that kill gives Skinner 6, so he gets the chemical rage.
Wow. Whisper gets a 6, but a little bit late. Now maybe they can kill off Amar. That might make things a little bit better, stacking the deck their direction, but it's not looking like it. And so Skinner comes back in, a disaster up here top as Whisper has to just walk this one off. Skinner comes back up here top.
That looked good for Beast Coast for quite a while, but ultimately they do edge them out with this. Level up on Alk, gives him the 6. He pops his Soul Ring, comes in for a final concoction. And as you said, it was really close to the Luna escaping as well, so very, very small margins there. But they do edge them out. This just have enough in the tank. 6. He pops his Soul Ring, comes in for a final concoction. Effectively just getting like 2 spells off that entire fight. It was really close to the Luna escaping as well. They ultimately do get the Doom off and build themselves a fight around it.
I'm trying to remember back to the first 2 games. Did we see Skinner joining in the fights? I'm not sure if we did. In the early laning stage.
Not as much, ironically, considering he was nature's best.
Exactly. And I'm wondering if that was maybe a sort of adjustment that they're making through the series to say, let's bring him into these fights.
It's true, they might have realized that the way Beast Coast plays these early rotations and moves, it's just that they were losing on numbers. It's very possible that AOI gave them that. It's true, they might have realized that the way Beast Coast plays these early rotations and moves, it's just that they were losing on numbers. It's very possible that AOI gave them that. It's true, they might have realized that the way Beast Coast plays these early rotations and moves, it's just that they were losing on numbers. It's very possible that AOI gave them that. It's true, they might have realized that the way Beast Coast plays these early rotations and moves, it's just that they were losing on numbers. It's very possible that AOI gave them that. It's true, they might have realized that the way Beast Coast plays these early rotations and moves, it's just that they were losing on numbers. It's very possible that AOI gave them that. Frankly, an unnecessary death. The silver lining is that there's plenty of space for the 2 greedy boys to just get the gold flowing.
Yeah.
But I think there was a way to maybe get the same result there without diving quite as aggressively. In reality, I think you're not expecting to kill the Willow there, so your goal is to go deep enough that it feels like a threat and then immediately disengage. Maybe if he pops the haste instantly after he sees the first hero come in, he could have survived, but Beast Coast again, can't underestimate how fast they are to respond to threats. Rune top here from Malrine. Good luck for him. That'll be an arcane.
Many heroes around to ensure that that one comes out. Still waiting to see first sharpshooter get used. Could be an assassination attempt. But it's actually a Blink Dagger now done, not on the Tiny, but on the Centaur. Whisper is mega farmed.
Yeah, can't wait for him to buy Dagon.
Okay.
Hey man, he has 100% win rate with it. So.
You're not wrong.
If there's anything we've learned so far, it's that stats, they tell the full story always.
Stats are stats.
Yes.
That's what we've learned.
All right, bit of an aggressive attempt here onto mid. Ench leading the way with the Hellbear creep. Trying to clean up a little bit here with the Acorn shot, but no glyph means no tower. Another one just dropped by Falcons, not looking to defend. Feeling inferior in these situations. They will make their own smoke move to try to find a straggler, maybe. Whisper breaks the smoke. They get the frostbite, though.
And the Doom is out, so that should be a pretty easy one. Does have Blade Mail out, but yeah, no way to stop this from happening.
Amar running the Alpha Wolf, a nice little crit to finish him off there. Speaking of crit, the player will not escape, as he gets caught by Lumpy and Elmisha combo.
The reveal of the Blink Dagger. While it is Malrine Kaya completed, pops that Arcane and is going to refill back at base. But was Doom used? Feels like that's maybe an opportunity here because low cooldowns where Beast Coast could make some type of aggressive move with this double blink they have and get a little more space for Pyke to farm.
Yeah, it is a good point. When you're running double blink, you want to do stuff, right? Otherwise, it's just dead gold. So definitely looking for Beast Coast to take some initiative here.
Ooh.
Whereas Falcons, Alchemist has the Radiance. They're just going to keep farming. There's inherent pressure on Beast Coast to accomplish something on the map, it does feel like.
And amp damage for Lumpy now. That's bottled up.
Well,
not seeing a smoke come out, but Malrine is going to show on this wave pretty far forward. This is a pretty quick go if they can get there.
Seems like he's well aware of what's happening. He'll even TP mid, so...
Nice play.
Still, that's a big-ass rally up top. Not sure what they're rallying for, but they don't like this tower, and it will go down. Edge takes that. So more reduction of space. Falcons themselves have only taken the top tier 1, and they've lost all their tier 1s now. So now the challenge for Beast Coast is to try to corner them. And this was what Falcons did so extremely well in Game 2. Was under circumstances similar to this, or actually way worse than these ones. Let's be honest, they were very far behind. They still managed to play a good game of keep away. This time it should be easier. And that means it falls on Beast Coast to be more successful in these moves. We're going to try for a 3-man smoke here with their Tiny.
Amar moving in, has a BKB, and is just going to doom the Centaur. But immediately looking towards the mid in turn, they're going to try and kill Malrine and will get him. So a 1-for-1 exchange across the map, mid for offlaner. And Doom down.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yep.
Radiant's middle tower.
Curious to see Malrine here looking to build eggs straight away after Kaya.
Huh.
I was thinking this is the type of game where I could have seen him go Eternal Shroud. There are so many magic damage heroes on the enemy team. There's so much that you can block and negate. And probably the rationale behind the Ags anyway is as long as I can react and get this off, it's going to block so much damage they don't kill me. But yeah, even something like a Cloak, when you have 2,000 health, it feels incredibly valuable here to get a bit of magic resist.
Yeah, and likewise, not having it can feel pretty rough. He's going to show on the wave again. Elmisha right there.
This time.
Yeah, they're baiting this out. And we'll jump immediately, find the Dark Willow. Lumpy just reveals himself. Now he's in a little bit of trouble. Didn't get the slowdown with the tree branch. Lumpy, Stampede, okay.
Nice illusion run.
Comes that one out. Now Whisper, Manta out, stun is there, Avalanche hit, a couple more Pipes moving in the area, but this is not going to go well for them. They lose 2 heroes, and Lumpy just in a little bit of save your buddy syndrome.
Yeah, this mid tower's gone too, right? Surely. Just a couple of hits would do it.
Are they going to try and defend this? There's no way.
All right, well, they do have glyphs, so actually never mind.
Okay.
But still, Falcons, it feels like the game plan is... Things are going according to plan with the exception of Malrine dying 3 times. I think everybody else is pretty happy with the state of things. Amar being this rich is very good news for them, obviously. And yeah, sure, Alk. I mean, Alk is doing Alk things, so that's pretty standard. He had an easy lane matchup, and we'll just keep ramping.
Are you at all concerned about how good of a game Luna is having if you're Falcons right now?
I don't think so. I feel like you have really good solutions. Late game Luna, in my opinion, is a lot of the time about lifesteal, and you have Doom.
Yeah.
So that is always going to be a solution that you have. I would say carry to carry matchup, Alchemist is one of the better heroes against Luna as well, because you ramp up faster than her and you just jump per single target and really put a ton of pressure. Either you kill her or you force her out of the fight, and ultimately most of the time those two lead to the same result, which is just a victory in the team fight.
Okay.
If Luna has to use the BKB to run away, she's not going to come back in, right? It's just like, then her fight is done. So I think if this just continues to be the trajectory of this game for the next 15 minutes, I've got Falcons all the way for this one. So again, the question is if Beast Coast feel the same way and if they're going to try to rush something. Obviously, you want to play controlled and not force moves that are bad. But knowing how effectively Falcons generally play the map, you factor that from the last game into Elk plus Doom and the fact that this time the lanes went well for them. And I think Beast Coast probably are feeling some sort of sense of urgency. But you don't have infinite smokes, and if your smoke moves aren't successful, there's only so much you can do. Like, at some point you have to just farm, because running in circles also doesn't do you any good. Almost Axe now on Malrine. He'll be so much harder to kill for the side of Beast Coast.
And they're getting towards that BKB on Skitter as well. So a lot of BKBs coming out over the next few minutes here, and the gold lead continues to be accentuated by Falcons. There are still, you know, a lot of big timings that you can hit with this lineup from Beast Coast, but as we've talked about, it starts to get to a point where you don't have many mistakes left. Yeah, that Ags, like you talked about, just about completed on the Timber Saw. So 20-minute mark. Beast Coast are somewhat grouped together here on the bottom side of the map. Could be an option to head back for the Tormentor if they want, or you could see a smoke up and try and make an aggressive move. And it looks like El Misho is bringing the smokers into his inventory, and Pyke is reconnecting with the team. Really close to that BKB on Lumpy, though.
Yeah, okay, so this is... we've seen a couple of tiny mid games. And the problem that I had with the hero in some of the games was that he just fell way too far behind on farm. Okay. I think especially one of the games we cast together with Mobe playing tiny mid was he was just not scaling enough. This hero can become very strong late game, but I'm just a little bit worried about the pacing of it and the fact that Luna has to take as much space as she does. At this point, I'm not convinced that this Tiny has accomplished enough. But now you're in this awkward... Tiny almost always his curve. Either you crush, like you're running things over, you keep snowballing, you keep killing people with Conda, and you're like king of the map, or you do okay in lane, you find a couple of successful moves, and then there's this awkward 10 minutes that we're in right now, where you don't have enough damage to kill anyone.
Amar? Completely alone.
Well, you have enough damage to kill a 4v1. That's true.
Wow.
But yeah, so Tiny doesn't really have enough damage to solo kill any hero on the map right now. I think even, I mean, Crystal Maiden he can't kill either. She has 1500 health and a Solar Crest. So yeah. So you're in this awkward spot where now you kind of need to farm at least your BKB plus one item to feel like you have that damage aspect back again. Maybe even 2 items. And this is, I think this contributes a lot to the win rate for Tiny that we've seen in this tournament, is that these upcoming 10-15 minutes are just really difficult. Because I'm looking at this guy with a Blink BKB, and his net worth is okay, but would I rather have the Doom with BKB or the Tiny in terms of like team fight impact? If he can't Blink burst anyone, this hero doesn't really do anything right now, right? So Lumpy has to get there.
And the Atos, good cut down. Oh man, does have BKB ready, holding on to the BKB here. Gets hit by the sharpshooter. El Misho standing watch. And holding that BKB is pretty clutch.
Yeah. Second BKB now for Whisper. And Beast Coast definitely have some tools that you would want to see them fight with. Luna, still a while to go for her BKB, though.
Salve up, smoke up. Who do they find? A key moment. If they can win a fight right now, Beast Coast buy themselves some time, and that's a great 2 to get right at the start. The toss down, the connection is there, but Skinner with the turnaround, and now they find the Luna, but they doom the Enchantress. Doesn't matter. Pike didn't last a second out there. Lumpy goes back in for a kill on the CM.
That's not a good trade, Lumpy. That's going to cost him his life for that one.
It overcame him. Crit survives through that one.
Lightning fast reaction from Falcons there on that initiation. It looked quite promising. They got the Blink Avatos, they got the Centaur jump, and yeah, they do kill the Timber, but it costs them everything. Like, Timber got his Ag's reactive armor off, and he barely died. It was actually close to Malrine surviving that on the disengage. But yeah, as said, you're going to see the replay here. So yeah, it looks so good, right? But the BKBs come out. BKB from Amar.
And that stun from Skitter.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, you got to feel for it. Imagine that fight if you have a BKB on Luna.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And you could make the argument, imagine that fight if Tiny had a Conda instead of BKB.
Right.
Because this is always the weird position this hero falls into, is you need to make that choice. Am I actually killing stuff? Or am I sustaining in the fight and hopefully getting 2 volleys off? Which he did, but the first volley doesn't kill.
Yeah.
And then the enemy team just pops their defensive stuff, they turn on you, and you're caught in this like awkward spot where, okay, you kind of have to BKB 2 to survive, and you kind of get overwhelmed in the end. So it was close, honestly. If they could have been a little clutcher in that engage, maybe if they get the 2-man Centaur Stomp into a Terrorize before the BKBs come out, we could be looking at a different team fight entirely, but not quite clean enough for the side of Beast Coast, and that's going to cost them.
Doom still on cooldown for 20 seconds.
Oh, why does Amar have Sanjin Yash?
Yeah, I don't know.
That one's a bit an odd one. All right, Skitter.
Self-stuns. Lumpy backs away.
If Alchemist stuns himself in the forest, but nobody sees him, did he actually stun himself?
You're asking like, it sounded like Slacks right now, an interview.
It's a good one for your next interview, Slacks. Ask him that one.
You can see El Misho, thoughts and feelings.
He is probably fine.
Yeah. TP's out. Has eyes on the Aghanim Scepter at the moment for the Dark Willow.
So yeah, he wants to... I think this is the right read. He has to go a damage direction because the Tiny is going to get there too late. So Willow needs to complement the Luna in assassinating these tanky strength heroes, especially the Timber. Willow can be very powerful against with all of that long-distance magic damage.
Well, and between Moose and Willow, I do feel like they're going to have some good damage out of their supports, no doubt. I guess the big question is, like, can they last long enough to get to that point?
Yeah.
And, of course, Luna still farming, has the BKB done. And
Lumpy
rejoining with the team.
Uh-oh.
Moose jumps in. BKB reaction comes out from Lumpy. He backs away. They get the Enchantress, kill her off. Whisper still in sights and does not manage to hit that stun. They're going to force out the Stampede.
Okay, so that was Stampede, Terrorize, and a Dead Ench for nothing. So probably Falcons just feel comfortable going Roche. I don't see any realistic way for them to lose this fight. I mean, Pike is level 18, never say never with Lunas, but their heroes are just so tanky. The 3 beefy boys, Timber, Alk, as well as Doom, and yeah, Beast Coast are not interested, so.
And you know, in terms of the way that I'm like seeing Beast Coast move around the map and like their reactions to these fights, I mean, Dota is a very expressive game, and it does not feel like they are under pressure to get a ton of stuff done right now. It feels like they're thinking forward to the late game, and they think that they can do it. They can win if they get there. I don't know if that's the right read, but it feels like that's their read. Whisper.
Gleipnir has to be KB.
Stomp misses that one too. Lumpy throws out the avalanche to save his buddy, and Whisper should be able to escape from this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you look at the gold and it looks kind of fine for the Dire, right? You're against Alk Doom and you're only 5k down. But I can't say with confidence that I believe Beast Coast win this if we just continue farming for a while, specifically because of the counter matchups. And I just know Amar late game Doom is just an absolute menace. It's going to be really hard for them to deal with. Eventually his inventory will have a refresher. He's going to start finding Dooms, or at least he will get Ags and just run close to Lumpy. Speaking of, Lumpy gets caught.
He's got to run.
He has BKB.
And Doom down, Stampede to get away. All right.
Yeah, it's not enough though.
BKB pops of Lumpy zone, and now he tries to get out of there. And Stomp comes from Whisper, moves in the area. Can he get him out of no?
Give a crap, man.
Oh, that's scary. Blade Mail doing good work now with moves hitting into Skitter too, but that's 2 cores dead. And Falcons, they keep this pain train rolling.
It's like, it's nice that you stampede the Tiny out of there, but the Doom is also hasted because he has Sanjay and Yasha drum phase boots, and they whipped him with the Hoodwink. Or actually not the Hoodwink, sorry. Who has the whip? Crystal Maiden. All right, so. My goodness. That's a big moment. That's 2 core kills. It's a tier 2 tower. And again, like to talk about this whole thing with the teams, as always, don't have access to the same information we do. So what do they feel the game state is? What do they think the next move is? How strong do they feel? And I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned that Beast Coast think that, all right, now we have to slow it down even further.
Yeah.
With that failed sequence snaking. We'll whip and run away.
I mean, Pyke is very, very farmed. He's died 2 times, but he does have level 20 going towards Conda. Maureen is going to be right here to find him. And is probably going to need the BKB TP out of this if he wants to live. And yes, indeed, Pyke will go for it. Gets away. Basher is on the way, though, so that play not as likely to work in the future. And Omisho almost at Aghanim Scepter. Runs into Amar. Goes Shadow Realm.
More Stomp. So I think he's all right. Wait.
Oh, nice.
I didn't notice he got the shard on Maiden, so just walks into melee, Crystal clones him.
That's sick. Very well played.
That's a cool interaction against Willow. I don't think I've seen that in a pro game. Interrupting the realm TP. Not too much of a common solution, but works there. But tier 1 tower, Skitter is very confident. He has Aegis and a backpack BKB. So he feels like he can push alone, and there's no way Beast Coast respawn, and he would be right in that assessment.
I mean, I think it's pretty clear that Beast Coast's read on this game is that they can make it last late game. And I think I'm kind of with you that I'm really worried about Falcons, the way that they've been able to play so far. Amar getting late game with Refresher, all these big problems that are coming up. It seems scary, but Beast Coast do not seem intent upon fighting at this point.
But again, you also got to look at the history of the series, right?
Yeah.
About, it's one thing what theoretically will happen, the lineups and how strong they are and what the graphs say. The other one is, what has the teams actually shown on the server, right?
Right.
In the past 2 games, I feel like Falcons have played better late game. I know they lost the second game, but they had really, really bad conditions in that one. And they still were very close to inching out a win. So it kind of feels like in this series for Beast Coast to feel comfortable from my perspective in the game, they need to be playing from ahead and have a good advantage, because in the late game scenarios, it feels like Falcons, and I mean, no shame in that. It feels like they outclass basically almost every team in the world in that stage of the game, right? So
Moose will be doomed. Hurricane Pyke to try and get away. Whisper does get hit by the sharpshooter, and the Ench is definitely dead now. But looking, oh, the Crystal Clone. Nicely played. Whisper forced away. They toss forward. Pyke onto 1. Crit is dead from that one.
But Pyke now
is left all by his lonesome.
Oh, no.
Lumpy tossed him over there and ends up dying for the trouble.
I'm going to go with Unworth on that trade. As satisfying as it is to kill Hoodwink, I understand the temptation can sometimes be impossible to resist. There is a limit to what you're willing to throw at her, and I think Luna is that limit.
All right, but wait. The workhorse It's out. It's ready.
Yeah. That's good. Now Whisper can save the Luna.
Yes.
When Lumpy throws her into certain death.
I mean, they'll never expect it.
Yeah, that's true. It's the Trojan workhorse.
Yes.
They're gonna pull one on them. It kind of feels like the game state that we're approaching is one where Beast Coast do need to get a little bit creative and surprise them.
At some point this game, I want to see Luna Rapier. I feel like that is where this needs to go if they want to win.
I think you should buy it after Kondo.
Yeah.
If they get there. I would agree with that. I do think you have to find overwhelming damage and then rely on your Centaur to protect you.
Well, 17-10, 11,000 gold lead. Crit hunting off to the sides of the map, trying to shut down these areas where Beast Coast would want to farm. And Beast Coast huddled as 5 in their base. Luna is now going to walk out, send out illusions, and then they'll smoke up behind her, try and make a move themselves. Amar has now bought all of the items and sold the Sanj, now has the Kaya with the Yasha, so quicker dooms.
Devil's Bargain is just such an interesting facet. The ability to just item swap as the game state changes is super interesting. I wonder... So what did he use the Sanj for exactly?
I'm not sure.
It didn't feel like he needed the status resistance at the time when he bought it, and now he's rearranged his items here into that Yasha, Kaya, and Shiva. Just
Tier 2 tower taken in the mid, and another Tier 2 taken down bottom.
Wait, did he just... Hang on.
What's up?
Can Doom sell his drum and buy a new drum?
I think so.
That's what he just did, right? He just has drum charges. Because that... Hang on. How much does it cost him? The drum is $16.50, but you can sell it for full value, right?
90%.
When you use charge, yeah, but when you use charges, the item doesn't become less valuable to sell. So you just sell it for 90%, buy it again.
Lumpy finding
That's
Amar.
Crazy.
Well, Cinderin does math. They pop the Doom and immediately keep him there. Nice Doom, nerd. Finds him, pipe right on top of him, and they get the kill.
Okay.
Yo, the answer to Doom.
It's an answer to Doom.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the answer. The Doom still continues, and when he does come out of the cart, he's still doomed. But yeah, in that instance, definitely worked. I mean, it was still a 1v5.
Yes.
I don't really know if the horse was necessary, but it looked cool.
And now, I mean, you're in an interesting situation here. 40 seconds without Amar. The last Tier 2 tower likely to go down.
It's a long Roche respawn.
Yeah.
So unfortunately for Beast Coast, they're unlikely to get a Roche out of this, but maybe they can find something else. Concoction, though.
Oh, wait a minute. They drop down sentry, spot him immediately. Now the Turnpike is there. Enchantress gets carded. Staying alive, no problem. Whisper onto Timbersaw.
This is still awkward.
Needs to get away from this one. El Misho shows up, and there it is. The Bushwhack Terrorize combination comes through, but Malrine is there for the finish. So they will get out with the rest of these heroes, it looks like, if they can manage to escape with Whisper. Malrine still chasing, gets him there. Double salvo, and Whisper will go for the BKB run away. Workhorses himself. Now he's caught again. It's a dead Centaur.
Yeah, this is a bit of an issue here because, as you see, the single target damage of Beast Coast, once the fights do break out, it's difficult for them to kill. Hang on, Amar. All right, Amar finds El Misho. Little snack there on the right side of the map. Easy kill for him. Despite the Doom being dead, it's still difficult for Beast Coast to push because Falcons can kind of poke and prod. If they land a spell combo, they can just commit with their Alk. And the Alk and the Timber are so tanky that how do Beast Coast kill them, right?
Yeah.
It takes these extended fights, but the problem is when Falcons are the ones initiating with the Concoction and with a follow-up Timbersaw, they have burst. The side of Beast Coast don't, and they don't really have reliable saves either. So it's very tricky to push towers in this fashion. Pike in a interesting spot here. I'm not sure what the end game is here. If he just wants to keep cutting the midwave with Manta, but he obviously has a very good ward protecting him. That is indeed the case here with the Mantas. He's staying. What's the
Is he going to try and force them back?
Is this really the best place he can be on the map right now?
I mean, he knows that they're going to go Roche.
He's keeping back.
Okay. So he is going to Manta, and then they're going to get together. Oh, amplified damage for Tiny. And it was such a long respawn that they're actually going to get here in time. In the meantime, mid-wave is fully pushed in. They will connect with Lumpy. Try and make their move over. Great wards in the area. They have to be so careful about their position. Falcons are in position to fight, not to go for Roche immediately. Malrine revealed. Now they see him. They see Alk. Whisper, wrapping. Amar is there. If he can find the right Doom here, it would be everything. Likewise, Centaur Stomp blows this whole fight up. But they are going to run forward with Malrine. They spot Whisper. He pops the workhorse. They don't have that now for the rest of this one. Skitter going to self-stun. Yeah, tense moments here in this upper bracket match. I mean, they have really good position on Falcons. But the Alk ult is about to wear off. Going in for it. They start to hit it. Beast Coast, do they realize what's going on? Alk ulti wears off, they're just punching it. The roar comes from Roche. Meanwhile, Pyke, he's not there. He's hitting tier 3 towers. They show up, terrorize out, doesn't connect onto anybody. Moves, backs away. Pyke still hitting buildings. They get the workhorse. Whisper stomps, runs away. Pyke now finally going to show up, but the team, they've already left. And now caught is Whisper, moves in trouble. El Micho is out of there. Lumpy trying to do anything, but they're just all falling apart. Stunned onto both. Pyke gonna BKB now, turn to fight. They feel like they have to get this win, but they are getting kited. Eclipse out. Amar is now onto Pyke. That was not the way this was supposed to go for Beast Coast. They are going to lose all 5.
That was the absolutely worst way that could have worked out for Beast Coast. Either the Luna stays mid and keeps going and tries to get a lane of barracks, or she joins up at the beginning of the fight. She ended up doing half and half. So she got 3/4 of the tower, but then she joins the fight so late that she can't help anyway. That was literally the worst case scenario, and that it just leaves a lot to be decided. That's got to be so frustrating for them too, because they know that was not what was supposed to happen, right? Yeah. Like, if you want to take the fight, fine. You got to bring the numbers and do it. If you want to do a bait so that Luna can split, that's also okay. You're seeing the replay here. She's doing a lot of damage mid. She has the creeps here. If you're looking at the minimap bottom left, she's still going at it, and then she walks back TP's top to join the fight. The fight is already lost here, in my opinion. You have a doomed Centaur who's going to get bashed, and she's super low and got carded, so you're effectively joining a 3v5. And, yep, just not the right approach. And that could just be full-on game deciding here, as now Falcons are in a very, very comfortable spot. They get the Aegis. What did this Roche have again? Was that Roche number 2 only?
I think that was just number 2.
So it was number 2. It was just a banner as well, but yeah, it's more so about the full team wipe. All the gold, I think, is more important than this Aegis. They just got so much.
A very tough situation. Young carry player making decisions here in a big upper bracket matchup and runs into a brick wall.
Yeah. Oh, 4 bounty roots.
That's a lot of gold.
That's yeah, a couple thousand there.
My goodness. Yeah, tough. And I mean, look at the net or the win probability still, though.
Yeah, this graph is bugged, man.
In spite of that huge win, like they're still giving them such a big percentage to potentially pull this back.
Skitter. Lumpy's out, but moves.
Yeah. We'll get bashed. Tries to Hurricane Pyke away, not going to happen.
So I will say, I feel like the win expectancy graph has changed significantly since a few months ago. And I don't know if it's because of the new patch and that the data is different, or if the game has really changed that much that this is a 30% game for the Dire. I would not feel like this is a 30% game for the Dire right now.
El Misho gonna hit the banner, try and take it out there.
Close call. Maybe could have got one more swing in.
Not quite getting in time. Terrorized, but the blink back.
Terrorizing nothing. Not even the banner got terrorized.
We'll be able to go back into the Shadow Realm to try and hit it, but gets a big old smack from Malrine before that comes out. And yeah, this one's feeling rough. You need so much at this point. I'm feeling like it might be about that time for that Rapier. We'll see if there is a switch up. Right now it's Scotty that's queued up, which again, against these heroes is amazing.
He needs Rapier. There's no way about it. They don't have enough damage. The Tiny never really got there. He's got Phylactery and a Harpoon, which I don't know about that either. I feel like, this is my personal opinion when I watch these Tiny mids, I feel like this hero never truly pops off until it has Kanda in these mid games. And he's making it as his 4th item. And I can understand getting the BKB first if you feel like it's a necessity, but you've got to get the Kanda after that. I don't think this Harpoon does much. I think the Shadow Blade, it's like, it's okay, but you want that assassination play. That's what this hero is all about, is combining with one support and killing heroes. Speaking of which,
Moose gets carted away for a moment, but there it is. The Doom out, tries to get him back to base. The
Amar's
BKB
refresher.
out. It's a good chunk of damage, and Amar into the fountain he goes. Drops out another Doom, immediately dead.
Way to kill the Centaur.
I mean, he really didn't need to do that, but he did it. And now Malrine starts hitting onto Pike. Lumpy gonna pop BKB, tries to back away, terrorize out, good connection. Lumpy hitting, they're trying to kill off the CM, the tankiest CM in the world apparently, but they still managed to get that kill. And now Skinner, his ulti's wearing out, maybe an opportunity here. Malrine is still large and in charge and hitting hard, and Malrine walks in, tries to find him, another workhorse used. Does wear out that Aghanims in just a moment. They hit into him with the Kanda, the stun is out, Malrine is done. Beast Coast, signs of life here late in this game.
Cost them 2 buybacks, but eventually, through the power of sheer numbers, they do overpower them here.
And Amar in the fountain. Notably.
That also helps, especially because the guy he dove the fountain to kill had buyback. So, yeah, that's probably the biggest difference maker, actually, was that fountain dive. And you see the fight recap, the Radiant did more damage. So the Dire just had more heroes. You're going to see the replay here. So they get the jump onto Moose. Very quick cart. Whisper is still running in circles, so instead of just running straight away. And Amar has the Doom here, and he knows he thinks the Centaur isn't going to die, and I think he's right. He kind of has to go in and do a little bit more, and then he's already in there. Might as well Doom the Ench.
Yeah.
All right, Beast Coast. Tier 3 tower. Luna has an open lane.
You remember that damage that she did to this Tier 3 earlier? It comes back and works out for them. So this will be a lane of racks down. Beast Coast, the question is, how do you respond now?
I told you, man, never question Dota Plus. 30%.
Until they have her back up. She's facing the wrong way to get 4-step. Where's the help? She doesn't have it. There's nobody, but there's the workhorse. That is what they needed to get her out, just barely. The feather floating, keeping her alive, and they will back away. My goodness.
When's the last time you've seen a cart carrying a flying creature in an open cart?
I mean, that's not a question that I can answer.
That's also a really weird question. It's not one you get every day.
Bought out for the Scotty.
I guess the Scotty. I would still really like to see that Rapier. I really would. He's looking at a Swift Blink next.
I mean,
maybe they feel like they can outplay them, but that extra damage will just go such a long way, especially with Workhorse. We've seen from Whisper, it's pretty reliable that he gets on top of people and saves them as needed. The Luna can do a ton of damage with a Rapier in hand. Roshan early spawn in 1:20. That is probably what Falcons are waiting for now.
Does also have the Lucent Beam, hits an additional target now. And the other thing that's nice about the Scotty is it makes her that much tankier too, right? 4,000 HP, she can maybe outlast this Doom if it does get onto her, as long as she's not taking literally any other damage from anybody. But
that's quite the conditional to just add on to there. Just don't get hit.
I mean, it's simple.
Yep.
Also, Dark Willow has been able to get into a Mask of Madness Hyperstone, looking for a second one.
That's true. Can't count El Misho out. If he gets that Moon Shard, the damage from the Willow will start mattering more and more.
An opportunity here to pull this one back to even. Beast Coast, they have believed in themselves this entire time, and despite being down 26,000 gold, you can see that Falcons are also respecting that potential.
Yep.
They were really respecting it when they were in the fountain. Meanwhile, Lumpy, the creep wave is in. He is pinging the tower like he wants to hit it, but Skitter is hitting their tier 3, so they need to come up with an answer to this.
Okay, they force them back. Job well done there from Falcons. They get the glyph and the TPs, and that's good enough for them. They'll head back out. Roche respawn in 1 minute. That is about average, I think. So
scan smoke, Malrine.
Doesn't break it. He was trying to with that Shiva to get some sort of information. Unsuccessful.
Still no, and Dire scanned them immediately too, knowing where they're at. Crit shows for a moment. Would be a great get if they could find him. Malrine on the wave while Pyke is down bottom, and maybe they can do a similar thing that Falcons did to them, force them back to their base, because Luna will push very quickly.
They just need to not do the similar thing to the thing they did previously where Pyke pushes the base and they take a 4v5.
Fair.
Just anything but that, and it looks like they're not going to make that mistake again. They're committed down here, but all right.
Falcons.
Are we base racing or what? What's happening?
Skinner starts hitting the tier 4s. They're acting like they want a base race. I mean, okay. Sure, why not? Jump in. Amar is immediately onto them. They're TPing back with the rest of them. Skinner hitting tier 4 towers. Terrorize comes out. They break the TP. Wait a minute. Can they actually do this? Hold on. Silence is out. Now the buybacks start to come. Luna, she tanks through this first doom. Feathers away. You lost so much here, though, and Pyke gets up to the high ground and manages. Wait, he TP back to there? No, he's back in the fountain. He's good to go. What has happened? Synderen, help me. What happened? Where'd they go? What's going on?
Snaking and Lumpy have both bought back, and we've used 2 dooms, so...
tier 3 tower dead bottom.
1 tier 4 taken by Falcons. Well, almost 2. Okay, they're by. All right.
What is okay?
I think. All right. This is when you buy Rapier.
Yes.
Okay. He's sitting on 7k gold. He wants to hold the buyback. I mean, maybe the buyback is better.
Oh, this game is awesome, man. I love this shit. This is sick.
Tough to say, but
they're going for Roche, and they're I think they get it. They hit it really quick, and it's also not going to roar. They're moving in to take it down very rapidly.
Right now.
I mean, this is huge.
They're in a really compromised position if Falcons just go in.
They need it quickly. They're trying to take it. It's daytime. It's daytime. No! The Terrorizer comes out, but no, they're not going to get it. Roche's get the hell out of here. Pyke gets over to the other side and is, well, out of there, kind of. Maybe Skitter's away. Oh, no, not like this. Beast Coast, you lose everybody again.
Good heavens, look at the time.
Why?
No.
That is insane.
Roshan said,
so
thanks
low.
for playing, we're packing up.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Now you buy Rapier.
Oh, no. No.
What in the Sam hell? And now they don't have freaking Centaur. It was like they had all these ideas and plans, and then suddenly they were like, we're base racing. All right, we're going to Roche. Oh, no, it's daytime. Shit.
Yeah, well, these last 5 minutes have had every type of chaos you can imagine, pretty much. But Falcons are...
Luna still has 7,000 gold in her inventory.
Yeah.
Could be trying to make a buyback play, but... I mean, I don't know. You have 1 tier 4 left. Tiny and Luna against the world. And Falcons taking the safe route. Hit the buildings that are out here. Get mega creeps. force that much more difficult of a comeback if that moment even happens. Skinner, though, is hitting the Ancient. They have BKBs. They do not have the damage on Pipe, just tickling that Alchemist, and that should just about do it. They buy back on the Enchantress, but the Ancient is exposed. The Luna is going to die. GG. Falcons continue on in the upper bracket. Now Reed looks exhausted.
Oh my God. Well, that was entertaining. I'll tell you that. That was an entertaining game. How do you summarize that? I mean, Falcons step-by-step build up more and more gold, and Beast Coast are biding their time. It's a matter of, can they really find that fight? They never really got it. And then complete chaos just takes over the map, and Falcons a bit calmer under the pressure.
They made it happen. Rough stuff for Beast Coast. We're going to head on back to the panel. They can break down all of the insanity from that great 3-game series.
You gotta love the tenacity from Beast Coast to just keep going for it, like to try the base race, to try the Roshan, you know, obviously it doesn't work out, but they definitely make it very exciting, even though it looked like for a long time that this game was just gonna be a slow burn because Falcons was ahead for the majority of the game, Tico.
Yeah, no, again, Falcons, they started really nicely. They had good aggression. They used the twin gates, taking the fight, and I mean, that's fair play. I think Beast Coast has morphed into this team of always trying to give it a good fight. And, you know, I'd argue this probably wasn't, after the hustle game in Game 1, Game 2, 3, it's not been the best showing, I would argue, from Malrine. You know, Lumpy, I think, in the Storm game, was able to beat him in mid. In this game, he had better net worth from the Tiny, and then he was able to make a couple moves to give Beast Coast life. So Malrine having to lean on other players to help, I think, win the series this time around. But, yeah, I think Beast Coast, lots of signs of life, but again, not enough to actually beat Falcons in the full best of 3.
Yeah, they tried to break the shackles, at least, of this slow burn that Falcons were bringing to the game, and they definitely did that. Unfortunately, it didn't work out in a couple of situations for them, specifically around the Rosh pit, but the game was just insane. It was such an enjoyable watch. A bit of KW plays as well, like some Doom diving the fountain, because if he Dooms, they cannot heal. He can finish off the kills. He does not finish off the kills later on as well around that Rosh pit. Roshan just leaving everyone saying adios amigos, going towards Radiant, the pit. And also Luna somehow juking next to the Crystal Maiden. So many little crazy things happened. But I enjoyed the attempt, at least from the Beast Coast, because this game was already, it was done and dusted, so at least making it a little bit crazier makes it also a little bit more competitive.
I mean, we've seen Centaur with the Aghanim's and the Carp be a good counter to do in other series. Whisper showcased another reason why it was good. Like, he was constantly having to go, hey, if you don't do me, I'll save someone else, I'll prolong the fight and just annoy your initiations. And again, the fact that at 48 minutes in the game, you're down 27,000 gold, and it's like, let's try for a base race. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, there's something on Beast Coast where they just have good energy. Again, unfortunately, they weren't able to beat out Falcons. Because
never give up, never surrender, right?
Yeah,
that's kind of an attitude.
And it's a good attitude to have. And but Falcons draft, we like the draft. We like the fact that the Timber pick was able to just cause a lot of frustration for Beast Coast. Like, a lot of focus was trying to stop him. Whilst they're doing that, you got a 6-0-17 Alchemist happily farming up, ending the game with nearly 40,000 net worth.
And it's also one of the first time that I see a Centaur being countered, not the first time, but one of those rare times when you see a Centaur countered by the Doom, because he had a really good start on the Centaur. He had like a 12-minute Blink Dagger and Blade Mail and a couple of bracers. Like, that's insane farm. But the moment he gets that Blink, he gets doomed once into a Frostbite. Then again, doomed second time into a Frostbite. Then the Hoodwink goes Brown Boots. No team items, nothing like that. Straight Atos. Brown Boots and Atos. Not even a null talisman, nothing. Just for that extra control into the Stampede. So they itemized well against him. And this man, like, at some point he had Yashakaya and drums, and he was moving faster than the Centaur with Stampede. He was following him.
It was a little bit of a crazy game. And I will say this was a first pick Doom coming out for Falcons. Well, overall second pick, but first pick for the squad to pick Doom. And I feel like we have not seen Doom that much, T-Gov, but this is a great case on why he's still on top.
Yeah, Doom wants to play behind other people's aggression. You don't want to be the guy who starts with the Doom, otherwise it gets a little bit lost. And again, Malrine on the Timbersaw, you got Alchemist and Skidder. Like, you're naturally looking for fights, so Amar, he can jump into Fountains and Doom if he wants to.
Yeah, and he can also talk to Slacks if he wants to, but I think he wants to because he's standing right next to him right now.
That's right, he definitely wants to. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome ATF from Team Falcons. Congratulations on that series. Them Beast Coast boys, they fought pretty hard, huh? Were you surprised by the gusto that team had?
Thank you, first of all, and I mean, we were surprised about Beast Coast. I mean, I don't think we were surprised. You know, we played them at TI. We know how to play and things like this. But it's not about we're surprised. It's that we were not shocked by our performance being way worse than before. That's what we were not shocked about.
Dang. Yeah, can we talk a little bit about that? Why was it so hard to close out that series in pretty much all those games?
I mean, if people know that we have lost like every single scrim we had like last 4 days, then everyone would think that we should have lost this game. But yeah, like we're having hard times. You know, we're having some shit around. You know, like some random things happening. You know, not having the best practice, not the best times. But yeah, you know, who cares? We'll come back anyway.
Making me depressed there. I'm sorry. It's rough times. Now, let's talk a little bit about your performance in particular. Love that Doom fountain dive there. Can we talk about that? What was the planning on that bad boy?
I mean, I know that some people don't like us. They say us, like, past tournaments we won, like, we're boring. So I'm like, you know, like I must like always bring my OG Enigma spirit that since I was there, you know, I have it. And I'm like, I need to dive, even though like it's cool play, you know, I'll kill both of them and ruin like the game, yes. But you know, for the viewers.
Oh, well, you're a man of the people then.
Yeah, of course. Like have to balance, like have to win the game and give the best show.
Amar, I'm getting some kind of feeling here that you wanted to take this interview for a particular... Is there something you want to talk about? I walked in the room and he said, I'd love to interview. He raised his hands and he walked in. Is there anything you want to talk about here?
You said who wanted to be the victim, and I said I can be the victim.
Oh, okay. Well, wouldn't be the first time at this tournament. No, I mean, it was a good... thank you so much, sir. Incredible series. What are you looking forward to coming up? Who do you want to win? Who do you want to face off against?
Who am I supposed to face off against?
Who do you want to face off against?
I guess Tundra, since they beat us in TI, even though they changed the roster, but like they also have TI winner right now from the last one. So yeah, I guess Tundra.
Okay, well, you'll have to just keep winning to go see Tundra. Well, thank you so much for an incredible interview, sir. So much incredible insight. Absolutely. We love ATF. He's a man of the people, and we'll throw it back to the people on the desk.
Thank you very much. I was going to say, they keep shaking their hands until today. I must say, I find it very interesting to hear that Falcons hasn't done too well in scrims. They're generally a very strong team. But losing in scrims, Lizard, how big of an impact do you think that has on people's mental going into officials? Because they won the series, but it was not as clean as they sometimes do.
It's not the first time that a team that's winning in tournaments and owning is losing all the scrims. Sure. It also depends on what kind of ideas they have in scrims, what kind of ideas they're testing as well. Scrims don't necessarily have to be the full A game. Like you're kind of testing out drafts, you're testing the opponents as well. But mentally, they're definitely weaker than they were before, at least, especially after hearing that they didn't even expect to be winning or to be doing well.
I mean, they hold themselves to a very high standard, so I feel like if anything is going even marginally wrong, it's like, this is massive, this is a big problem. So I think for them, it might sound bad, but in reality, it's like even their bottom line is still good enough to get to, you know, like a top 2 or top 3.
Yeah, their baseline is very high on average, so when they're saying, oh, guys, it's going rough, it's like still top 3. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, they're on the right track for that. And if Amar wants to face off Tundra, there is a chance he just has to go one step further, and then also Tundra has to win against a Rogue tomorrow, and then there's a chance that they meet in the upper bracket finals. But that all relies on winning, and it also relies on which teams makes it forward from our upcoming series, because that will be the opponent for Falcons in the next round of the upper bracket. We're going to head towards that next series. Before we get there, though, we are going to listen to Stormstormer.
Hey everybody, we are here yet again for another little game. Today we will be playing Spell Untangle with Stormstormer.
Hello.
Hello. Stormstormer, I have collected for you 3 spells. We have combined them into a brand new spell. It is your job to listen to this new spell, and then figure out what those past 3 were. We have a few hints for you if you get stuck. Confidence levels going in. What do you think?
I'm gonna cook.
You're gonna cook?
I'm gonna own. I think I'm the best at this. Yeah, I'm gonna cook. Yeah.
You know all the spells?
I do. I played Volker. Come on, bro.
Okay, that is true. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into our first one here. All right. This spell, it's our easiest one. Okay? It launches a bloody hook, which upon contact snags an enemy unit, causing their skin to burst, dealing massive damage. The enemy is dragged back to you with a brief burst of maximum movement speed. While the unit moves back, takes a percentage of the distance traveled as damage, leaves behind a trail that slows enemies around it by 50%. Okay? That's a lot of info. There's 3 spells in there. That's right.
So the obvious one is Punch Hook.
Okay,
just because it hooks and like upon context or everything that seems obvious that it's Punch Meat Hook. So the enemy is dragged back with you with a brief burst of movement speed. I'll put that one back for a second. And yeah, the thing is like, well, the unit moves back to you. It takes a percentage of the distance traveled as damage. Well, that is also the Punch. It could be Rupture, but it's also the Punch Facet.
That's true.
So that is like a rough one, but it's 3 spells. And the last one with the Trail, well, that means that could be Doxio Shard.
Yes, correct.
Isn't the third a Slaughter Sprint? Like that it's not...
Look at the second line. Causing their skin to burst.
Yeah, like causing their skin to burst.
Why would someone write that?
Yeah, like...
Okay.